All right. Good morning. Good morning. Or grand rise, rather. Grand rise. You know, I saw something that said people who say grand rise are full of shit. And we all know that's not true, but it was funny. All right. And again, thank you guys for tapping in this morning. We got to get right to it because ain't nothing to it but to do it. All right. Over to the dollar. All right. Beautiful double top. Looks like we're going to drop. All right. All bars intended. Okay. So I believe this fair value gap is going to get filled, and we'll see that, how that plays out this morning. All right. But let's go scouting for those beautiful setups here, guys. All right. JPY is still playing around at the fair value gap. I believe it will push down, fill it more, and then get up to the next fair value gap. Okay. Natural gas, we took a buy on it and it's looking like it's flying right now. So natural gas is a very good setup to take for a long position right now if you are not already in it. All right. Okay, oil. So oil looks like it's getting ready to drop a bit to where I'm expecting it to rise from. And I see some news here 5 hours ago. Oil rise after Trump said India plans to halt Russian oil purchases. All right. So we can read more on that if we need to. But crude oil futures paired earlier gains to $58 per barrel on Thursday, struggling to rebound from a 5-month low as investors' assets mixed signals about Indian purchases of Russian oil. All right. So there may be, some demand here, right? That may cause oil to rise, which is exactly what I'm expecting. Okay. But time will tell. All right. So need to hop over to here because there were some good setups that I don't want you guys to miss. All right. So here and there and everywhere. All right. Boom, bam. All right. Just scrolling through to see what we got here. Okay, this CAD JPY looks really good for a buy, but the JPY is still mixed, so it's very hard to determine, but I do like this for a buy right now, so I'm going to double back to CAD JPY. CHF JPY has given us a nice evening start, and it looks like it's ready to drop. All right, and only thing I see is a potential for it to kind of dig a little deeper into supply, maybe take out this level here and then give us a drop. All right, so watching out for that. Okay, euro odd still has potential to drop, but right now it's currently rising. Okay, for all of you who have just joined, please let me know if you can see the screen and if you can hear me okay. Okay, nice rising wedge on euro odd. All right, you can see we do have a very good push up here, but just a little bit of imbalance sitting here in this area. particularly where we broke. All right, so that is potential, that we'll get down there. That will take a lot of time, but it's just, an area that definitely will have price wanting to get to it at some point, all right, over time. So the equal lows that we have here are more of a target point because they're more recent, right? And really not that far away, just the beginning of September, all right? Nick was good. Matter of fact, Nick, CAD, CHF, no, well, Euro CHF, I'm tripping. Euro CHF, we're in profit on this right now. Again, it was looking a little spooky, right? Look how close it almost took us out, right? But now we're up 18 pips and it's looking like it's continuing to rise. Again, I expected to get up here 100 pips easy on Euro CHF, and then Pound CHF did the same exact thing, right? So played around, almost took us out, right? Very, very, very close, and that's just how it goes, right? But now we're up 44 pips and counting, and Pound CHF is more of a banger. We're getting over 125 pips on that. So again, hopefully you're able to hold on. Maybe your broker may not have given you the best spreads, so you may have gotten hit on that. But if you did, there's still opportunity to get in. Just wait for a retracement, right? That's all you got to do. Just give it some time. Once you see prices drop a significant amount, and what I mean by significant is really more than half, all right? So at some point, this really looks like a high right now. If we go to a lower time frame, yeah, there it is. That's a high. So we'll take Fibonacci from the low up to the high, and if price gets to this particular area, okay, especially here where this demand area has been created. As a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and map all that out, because that is a great trade opportunity, which is exactly the same area that we took the trade previously. All right, can't make this stuff up. The bus keeps coming back every single time, guys. All right, so now again, I'm just going to duplicate what we've already set up previously right here. All right, so now we can get away with a tighter stop. That's only 17 pips. All right, and we're aiming to make about 120 some odd pips. All right, guys, so I'm going to set the buy limit right here. All right, and I'm going to give you guys this play this morning. Okay, so this will be the first trade coming in. If you guys are just getting in, we are putting a buy limit on Pound CHF. And here is the play. All right, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for me. Okay, just a 20 pip stop. It's really good. Okay, and take profit of 117. All right, boom. So we got that going, and that's looking good. All right, Euro CHF is again exactly the same, right? Birds of a feather, pretty much, right? And looking at this on the lower time frame, once again, we can place that Fibonacci from the high to the low, and this is where it's kind of saying we'll get to, but here is where I see some imbalance, right? So I'll mark that out. Okay, and once again, we can set a position there. All right, this is primarily for anyone who missed, this is called in my Discord yesterday, right? Whoever might have missed it, all right, you got another opportunity on the way to catch it when it gives this retracement to fill this imbalance. All right, so here it is, buy limit. This is Euro CHF. All right, we did Pound CHF, but this is Euro CHF. So make sure you get it right. All right, you don't want to mix up the wrong numbers. For the most part, you wouldn't be able to put the numbers in if you're on the wrong pair, but sometimes, all right, sometimes they let you, right? So you'll put those numbers in and they don't mean nothing, and you wonder why your trade didn't get activated. All right, so here it is, Euro CHF. All right, this is what's going on. It wouldn't let me post that. All right, let me post that. So maybe it's just a little glitch. All right, Euro CHF. All right, here we go. Buy limit. Again, it's a pending order. All right, if you guys got questions about pending orders, again, now's the time to ask, and I'll let you know. All right, your entry is going to be this. All right, your stop loss. It's going to be just 14 pips, right? Getting away with murder. Okay, and take profit is 93. Okay, and it can go well beyond that because again, we're getting from the very low, right? And how ironic, bro. You know, I told everybody Thursday and Friday, right? That's when it gets popping, and that's exactly what we have, right? So just really good setups on these, and I do expect them to play out in due time. All right. So again, just skimming through to see this CAD JPY, man. I'm gonna put an alert on it because again, I really am interested in taking this. All right. This also looks really good. Only issue is that you know, there's still a little bit of supply that I think it might tap into, but right now, I mean, it's looking really, really good. So it's very, let me see what we're risking because that'll give it all. Yeah, see, that's 143 pips. All right, the CHF JPY trade or pair does not play. All right, so you got to be very mindful of what you're trading because some of these can knock your head off. All right, and that's 459 pips going to fill this imbalance. This is a very nice place. So if we take it with a tighter stop right below, I mean right above that wick, that's 69 pips. That's not too bad. All right, that is giving it, you know, that's a little stretch, but maybe we can make that. Yeah, so there's imbalance, but then there's also a little bit of demand right here. Sorry, supply right here. All right, but you see this imbalance right up in here. This is not gat and gat, and that's what I'm concerned about. All right, that it may potentially go and do that. All right, give me a second, guys. All right, we're good. So, yeah, with that, I would rather take a position like this, all right, because I just know how this goes, right? And yes, I may miss out on that drop, but man, you know, I'll hate for, you know, me to get in right here and then it does exactly what I think it could and then it drops, right? Just want to save myself from any kind of you know, unnecessary drawdown. All right, and the best way to do that is just be patient, wait until it gets higher or lower depending on which direction you're looking to get into the trade, and then you know you should be good. Right, but okay, yeah, that was balanced out pretty nicely, but here is where I want to get, so I'm just going to go ahead and prepare myself for that now so I don't have to watch the chart like a hawk. All right, fill the imbalance. 500 pips, guys. 500 pips, and we're only risking 69 to get that. All right, so I like it, and here it is. Again, CHF, JPY. Say sell limit this time. All the other orders on pound CHF and euro CHF were buy limits. All right, so don't forget that. But this trade on CHF JPY is a sell limit. All right, and here is your entry. All right, here's your stop loss. 69. What a good time. We had a time last night. Bet y'all did. All right. TP is 509. And that is very, very nice, guys. We got a 1 to almost, well, 1 to 7 risk to reward. All right. On that trade. I'm just afraid that it'll take off and leave us. Hopefully it doesn't. All right. Don't leave us. Right. Give us a chance to hop in there and then take off with us. All right. But CHF very nice setup, guys. Don't sleep on the beat. Okay. Euro odd. Again, my team tried to take it from the high, and once we took it here, it came back out and wicked us because we were very, very tight on the stop loss. As we could get away with, you know what I mean? So these things happen, but I won't preach all day about worrying about your losses, right? You're gonna lose, okay? You're gonna lose. It's just what do you do when you lose? How do you become, right? That's the factor, right? That's what it's really all about, okay? So just adjusting here, and again, you guys can see the imbalance, right? That's sitting there, imbalance sitting here, imbalance sitting there, right? Imbalance everywhere on this particular setup. So once again, guys, I'm just waiting, right? Again, if we got it from the, if we just had a deeper stop loss, we would have been in profit right now, right? So again, these are the things that still make me feel good about this trade, all right? It's just now we have to try to time it up a little bit to take advantage of it since we got knocked out, all right? And this is looking really good, okay, for a short position from the supply area, right? And then getting above, that's 81 pips. So, right about here, that's 30 pips. All right. I'm cool with that. All right. And getting it down 312 pips, guys. We need to get this in. All right. Sell limit. All right. These trades are set up. And again, Thursday and Friday seem to be the days now. It used to be Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But whatever's going on economically and politically, all that good stuff, right? It's causing these Forex pairs to, kind of be delayed in volatility and movement, all right? But nonetheless, we gonna do what we do, all right? And here we go. Then hit that like and subscribe button for me, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Euro odd, all right, is the play right now. Okay, again, this is another sell limit. So we did 2 buy limits earlier, right? Hopefully you guys can see the history in the chat to catch those trades, right? If you don't, or if you can't see it, let me know, all right? And I will go back to those trades to give you guys the numbers, all right? But you guys should have your MetaTrader, your Trade Locker, your Trading View, right? You should have your broker platform up, placing in these orders. If you don't feel comfortable doing it on the live, right? If you're really new, that's cool. Do it in the demo, right? It won't hurt a thing, okay? But while you're in here, right, take advantage, right? Make some moves, push some buttons, right? Push the goddamn button, okay? And you'll see some things, okay? And again, just the more you show up, the more things will start to click. And I really want you guys to ask those questions, right? Those tough questions that, you've been hearing about some stuff, but you don't really know about the stuff, but you want to know about the stuff, right? Ask me about the stuff, okay? And I got you, all right? There it is, Euro odd. Hopefully I put that right. Yep, I did. Euro odd, guys. Very, very, very nice setup, okay? All right, take that, no diddy. Here we go. Over to EuroCAD. Again, it's at a level of supply as well, and I see huge imbalance that has not been mitigated here, and there's more imbalance to the downside. Guys, we need to take this one as well. All right. It's just what it is. We already got a nice rise up, right? This was imbalance that we just filled, and now we're respecting the supply area, already starting to drop. So I'm going to sell this as a market sell, and this is just a 25 pip stop loss. EuroCAD, we in there, all right? So this will be a live active one right now that we can take advantage of, okay? And let's see, just getting down to the first demand level is 179 pips. That's all we need, Okay. Yeah, we can get more, right? But it's up to you guys, right? When you start noticing prices very close to your TP, you can take your TP off, just delete it, right? And just leave it open, right? Move your stop loss from wherever it was, right, to closer in profit. That way, whatever's going to continue, right, you'll be able to catch, right? And still, if it happens to go against you, oh well, you've already locked in profits. All right, that's how that goes. Okay, Nate, what's good? All right, we got some beautiful plays in. So pound CHF, Euro CHF, CHF JPY, and Euro odd so far. Again, let me know if you can see that in the chat. If not, I will go back to them so you can get the numbers. But really, really good setups, bro. All right. And you know, today is the day, right? Thursday and Friday. All right, but here we go on EuroCAD. All right. Again, guys, hit that like and subscribe button for your boy, and we will get it. So already in CHF JPY. Why am I not surprised? Right? I don't even know why I tell you. I don't even know. I should just be like, man, what did you get it? That's what I need. How I need to be. All right. Well, here we go. EuroCAD. This is a market sell now. Okay, our entry is here. All right. Oh no, that's our stop loss. My bad. Hold on. 1636 Mafia. All right, entries there. All right, and now here is the stop loss. All right, for just 25 pips. Very, very nice. Okay, and take profit is 177 pips, guys. Very, very nice. All right, just getting to it today. Again, we waited all week, right? So look, we are in profit. All right, let me say that out loud for the people in the back. We are in profit on EuroCAD right now. All right, so do what you got to do to take advantage. Again, in your demo or your live. You know what time it is. Okay, so taking a quick look at the J. I'm still gonna hop back over here. Actually, we can stay here, but let's go over here. All right. These indices are still on pause right now, but they won't be for long. This looks like a good selling opportunity on SPY right now, but I'm a little iffy of the supply area right above it, right? And then plus the dollar looks bearish, right? It looks like it can rise too, but you know, still breaking these lows and respecting these highs. So, you know, with this fair value gap here, it's more of a magnet for price to go and, you know, touch that area. So, with that falling, I do believe SPY can reach up a bit more before it begins to fall. Again, these are equal highs, so it may just go and sweep that, and then we get the drop. But right now, the way that it looks like a good opportunity for a sell from here. But again, like I said, it's just a little, you know, I'm a little concerned about the supply above it. And same for NAS, right? We're at the supply area, we can definitely drop. But what about this imbalance, right? What about this supply? Will it go get that or not, right? These are very, very tricky things to try to determine. But instead of, you know, you can always do what you want to do, right? You can put this short position right here, just like this, make it super tight, only risking 48 pips, see if it'll drop, right? But if you don't like that, maybe you take it here and maybe you put your stop way above here, but you're risking 395 pips. So a better position would just be to try to grab it from the top like this, right? Those are the ways that you guys can, you know, go about playing these trades. But in the next 5 minutes here, guys, we're going to really see what's going on with these indices. All right, but I want to take a look at the JPY. All right, so it's still just kind of playing around. And then our J's, again, AJ looks like it's going to rise. That's what it looks like. CAD JPY definitely looks like it's going to rise. I'm so afraid not to take this right now because I just feel like it's going to blast off. I see a nice trend line on this where I know there's nothing but liquidity sitting behind it. All right, so this is definitely making me nervous, okay, to not miss it. All right, but the JPY is just so mixed and we haven't really truly broken any highs. Okay, if you guys pay attention, right, it's things I keep trying to point out to you, right? Here's a high, right? This is a level, here's a high, and here's a high, right? You can see where price is. We haven't broke this high or this high or this high or this high, right? None of these highs have been broken. So what I'm saying by saying that is that for your recent high, right, we're still respecting that, and we could drop from that. Okay. So as much as I want to buy this because it's at this demand level, right, I never got anything telling me on the chart that it actually wants to go up. Okay. And this is what separates the rookies from the vets. Okay. Rookie will probably buy again. You know, you can get lucky, right? It happens, right? You can get lucky and it'll shoot through supply and it'll, start taking out these highs and get up here. But, you know, the veterans, right? We just, when we know we got a good setup, we prefer to have confirmation on it. That's all, right? We can still take it like a rookie without confirmation, right? And that doesn't really make us a rookie, right? We're just taking our chances. You know what I'm saying? Because we know what we did not get to actually tell us what we need, what we need to know, right? But this is this is just how things go in the market, guys. A lot of times you are going to take risks, right? I mean, once you take any trade, whether it's a good setup or not, you're taking a risk, so you can't avoid that, right? It's kind of what I'm getting at. But you can control, doing all the wild, the wild stuff, right? You just out here being a wild child in these streets. You feel me? Like, you don't want to do that. All right. You want to have some kind of structure, right? Have some kind of strategy, right? Have something that is static that you go by, right? To take advantage, right? Again, I can help you build a strategy. I can help you, understand. I can help you, stick to it. But, you got to rock with me. All right. Forexwithbain.com. Guys, hit that like and subscribe button for your boy. All right. Over to CHF JPY again, looks like it's gonna fall. Man, it's just these look, but I just know I can see the liquidity sitting right here, and I'm gonna just put it so I won't lose the visual. All right, but there it is, and I can just see a nice little pump up before we get the drop. But if we get the drop, hey, it is what it is. We miss out. All right, look at that, EJ. Okay, so more like this, but even still, right, here's liquidity being built up. But which side are we going to go and take first, right, is the question. Okay, so kind of looking at this in a consolidated manner. All right, whole bunch of indecision all week, guys. And then watch, just watch. I guarantee you Friday it's going to kaboom, okay, like it did last Friday. All right. So yeah, here was kind of sort of what is that? Yeah, 186 pips in a day. All right, from Thursday to Friday, 186 pips. So we get 186 pips from where we are. We're talking about halfway to the fair value gap, but that's a huge imbalance. So we can get way more than that, guys. 360 on the table. Okay, but I'm very skeptical of it just dropping right now. I just feel like we're going to get some sort of push up, because again, that JPY is not quite fill the imbalance that it has below it, all right, to initiate its rise. Again, taking a look at it real quick so you guys understand what I'm saying. Right, here's the JPY, and I'm expecting just a little deeper push, right? You guys can see how that imbalance is here now. So I'm gonna set it right here so you guys can really tell what I'm looking at. Right there it is, right? So looking at that imbalance is, and then this is all engineered liquidity, so I know they're gonna sweep it, right? I don't know when, right, but I just know it's coming. All right, so what's gonna happen, we're gonna get that sweep, we're gonna tap into the FVG, mitigate demand, then we're gonna start to rise. Therefore, right, on a pair like what were we looking at, give me a second, get back. Okay, yeah, like this, even CHF JPY, when euro fall, when the JPY falls, this will rise, and then when the JPY rise, this will fall, right? So again, EJ, right, kind of same kind of thing. JPY falls, euro will rise. JPY rises, euro falls, right? GJ, all right, so we had a sell limit order on here, and it should have gotten activated, and so this is the only one that still looks really good, like it'll actually just drop, right, without pushing up, because we just got that push up all throughout yesterday, or Tuesday and Wednesday, right? It took the time to retrace back up to the supply, and look how it rejected that supply area. Get what I'm saying? Now looking left, I do see just a little bit of imbalance right above that, but if you want to take it into consideration, right, you can by moving your stop loss just a little bit above that. All right, so doing one of these numbers could keep you safe, but you're risking 97 pips if you kind of sell it from where it is right now. As a matter of fact, it's more than that. All right, well, yeah, just about. Right, so about 100 pips. All right, these JPY pairs do not play, but GJ looks really good. And man, I'm just it's I had this situation with a odd New Zealand pair, and I was talking about how much I didn't want to grab it, and of course last night it dropped 100 pips in just 2 hours. So I got to stop being on the fence. When I see something very nice, right? Again, I just told my team, instead of living with that regret, guys, I'd rather just take the risk and live with the outcome, whether good or bad. All right, Euro odd has done something. I can't remember if we had a market sell or a limit on it, but let's check it out. Okay, so it was the sell limit, guys. All right, it was the sell limit on Euro odd, and we are activated in that bad boy. All right, so here we go. Let's clean this up a little bit. All right, whoop, there it is. So let's see what happens next, guys. Get a little alert in case we get the dropping, and yeah, that'll be nice. Now again, there is equal highs right here, so we're only risking 30 pips to that, but if we crank it up to get above those equal highs, that's about 60 pips. Again, your prerogative, guys, but I'm only going to risk this much for now because I expect it to respect this supply area, right? And it's already kind of doing that for now, right? So time will tell, what'll happen next. This is where you set alerts, things of that nature, so you don't have to, be on your odd all day staring at it. But I can see a huge drop, guys. 312 pips on this. Please don't miss out. All right. But back to those J's really quick. Again, GJ is kind of doing his thing. NJ, right? It's too mixy. I'm not touching NJ. All right. So UJ, again, I called this previously, and this does still look like it's going to drop, but I can also see it coming to fill this imbalance in the supply area. You probably can't see it too well on the 4 hour. So here, dropping it down right on the 1 hour, and now things make a little bit more sense. So, we still have downtrend structure on UJ. So it's not 100% that it will get to this area, right? So you can see when it made this push down and created that fair value gap, we did get about 50, 40-50% retracement on that before we fell again, and we kept breaking lows, right? That's the significant thing about the structure, right? Breaking those lows. So I can just move this out the way and put it here, right? So you guys can see that we continue to break lows. And here's that last candle before we started. Well, really, it's kind of right here. So we can just kind of move that over. All right. There was that candle before we initially broke that level once again, and we came back to it. And just how ironic is it for it to respect, that particular area from where we initiated the break, right? That's what it's doing right now. So again, instead of us risking about 61 pips, right, on this, we could take that and bring it down to about 30 pips or so, right? Yes, there's a chance you can lose it, but what if you win it? Okay, it's always two sides to that coin, guys. Stop looking at it one-sided all the time. All right, and if it just so happens to want to go and get up to here, well, what can we do about that? You guessed it. Place the sell limit right up in there. Okay, and now we're not crying about losing 20 pips, right? We're getting ready to celebrate, the opportunity at getting price at a higher price, a premium price, and selling it at that price, right? Still 27 pips. So you lose the trade, you lose this first one, right? Possibly, right? Lose 27 pips. price goes and hits this fair value gap to balance out, right? And activates your sell limit trade. And then it pushes down. Let's see how far down it got to push. 20, there it is. Boom. It just got to go just like this for you to make the money back that you lost on this particular trade. Okay, guys, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, it's a layup, all right? But the mental has to be strong, right? If you're not built for losses, you're gonna lose. You know what I mean? You're gonna really lose. Like the losses won't be lessons for you, right? It'll just be like, oh man, this shit sucks and blah blah blah, and whoop the whoop, right? So so far we're doing good on UJ because again the dollar is expected to drop. The JPY is expected to rise, but I think we're going to get the sweep before we get the rise. So there's going to be a little playing around, right? You know what I mean? But you just really never know how it's all going to play out. You just have the potential of what can happen. And you got to, say to yourself, okay, what's the probability, right? And do you have a higher probability of it falling or rising? Okay. And if it's, higher on the direction that you want to go in, you better roll with it. All right. So UJ, GJ, respecting, dropping. All right. I'm going to get rid of this because we already took care of that. All right. Let me just see. Okay. Yeah. That FEG is actually super tiny up in here. All right. But it is what it is. Again, I kind of think we're gonna go take that because I'm expecting that JPY to fall a bit. All right, EJ, yeah, I think we're just gonna get another push up. Who knows if we're gonna get all the way up here. All right, because there's a little imbalance right there. But again, I'm trying to give you guys, I'm trying to show you guys, the areas where price can potentially go. But just because I'm showing it to you doesn't mean that they're gonna go there, right? You know what I mean? And that's the tricky part, right? Somebody's probably in here like, well, damn, you got a fair value you got there, fair value you got here. Where am I supposed to, get which one? Well, what am I supposed to do? Right? The answer is whatever you want to do. All right. You know the areas. Which one would you prefer to get in from? Right? If you're okay with trying to get into it from where it is right now because you think it's just going to drop, do that. Right? Because we are at a supply area. We are at a resistance area. So technically we are selling from a high, right? But obviously this will be higher. So which one are you okay with? Right? You know what I mean? That's what it basically boils down to. Okay. But regardless of which one, guess what? We're both selling, right? You take it here, I take it there. Guess what? We're both selling. You understand what I'm saying? You might lose it. I might lose it. You might win it. I might not even be in it, right? There's so many possibilities, guys. But when you know what they are, right, you get to make that educated decision and, see how things play out, right? You got to give yourself a chance or, if you're not in the game, you can't win it. Okay. That's what it is. Hit that like and subscribe button for me, ladies and gents. All right. Euro on. All right. We're starting to reject. All right. We come back to it. Euro CAD. All right. We got a market sell. We're hanging around, right? It's pushing up for right now. It's all good. Euro CHF, waiting for that retracement to that fair value gap. It may go, it may not, right? But we're set to take advantage if it does. Same for pound CHF, right? See all the wickage just so happens to be right at this bit of a supply level. All right, so just mapping that out. And if you guys don't see anything, right, you guys should be seeing how all of these levels that I'm putting, right, these support levels, these resistance levels, these demand zones, these supply zones, they're always getting respected somehow, some way or another, right? So at some point you should become a believer, all right, and start to line yourself up. All right. Let me see, pound New Zealand, that was a good one. All right, so yeah, we are in that supply zone right now, and let me get rid of this. So this was the Asian session manipulation, or the Asian session box here that I drew for the high and the low, and I just wanted to see what did price do in the London session. Now we're in the New York session, but so far we've gotten up to the supply zone, all right, which is good. Okay, but what I probably would want to see is price take out the Asian high, but it doesn't necessarily have to happen, because what I notice on pound New Zealand is this, guys. All right. So that was the beginning of the week over here. All right. So here is Monday, right? Look at the high right here in the Asian session, right? When we got in the London session, we didn't take out the high and we didn't take out the low of that Asian session. All right. Then we went to Tuesday, right? Here's the high of the Asian session. Here's the low. So neither one was taken out during the London session, but in the New York session on Wednesday, all right. So again, Tuesday and Monday. On Wednesday, the New York session took out the high of Tuesday, right? It took out the high of Monday, right? And even here, it just, pushed up a little higher during the Asian session that Wednesday. I mean, that Thursday, pretty much. Yeah, it'll be that Thursday, right? But now, because we're pushing up, right? And I'm saying, well, we don't necessarily have to take out the high, right? Because we took out this high on Tuesday and this high on Monday. So what hasn't been taken out during these Asian sessions on Monday and Tuesday? The lows, guys, right? So people buying from the low, right? And guess what? They caught some money. They got their pips, right? But if they still in the trade trying to wait for it to go higher, their stop losses are behind all of those lows, guys. Not to mention, right, when we look a little further left, look at this impulsive move up, right? That is a strong bullish move, right? That left a lot of imbalance, and it initiated right from this point where you see I have this support demand area, right? It's mainly demand, all right? So with all of that being said, right, highs have already been swept from Monday and Tuesday, right? And now the Wednesday Asian session high, right, hasn't technically been swept, right? But it may not have to be. You understand what I'm saying? Because we ended up getting this change of character right here. Price pushed down from where we were going higher highs and higher lows till we started doing lower lows and lower highs. All of this is just the retracement now back to that supply area that initiated that break. Do you get what I'm saying? So I do expect price to respect this level, right, and then begin to drop. All right, if it takes out the high, it is what it is. I got my, well, let me push that because I thought it was there, right? But got my high just a little bit above, that. I mean, my stop loss just a little bit above that high, just in case, right? So again, pound New Zealand is still looking really good for the drop. We just gotta wait it out and see how it plays out. All right, guys. But huge imbalance to the downside, and I'm never, anytime I see this, guys, money sitting here, imbalance not met, I'm at a very, very high point. I'm never gonna be timid about selling that, guys. Okay, I'm just not, right? It's been doing a whole bunch of pushing up, right? But all of a sudden now we're getting this massive wick at the high of right here. That's huge, guys, showing complete rejection of sellers. I'm sorry, of buyers. All right, and a hard time breaking above that for now, right? So we're pretty much in the realm of saying, hey, we can see that the bulls are getting exhausted, right? And it shows because of the wick, and then also because of that bearish candle right after the wick, right? So now bulls showed up, right? They're like, okay, we still in here a little bit, right? But then they came back into the bear territory, and they're starting to get rejected right now. So that's the situation that I want to take. I'm like, man, the last time y'all was here, bulls, right? Look, the bulls came up in this area, the bears smacked y'all. Okay, so y'all back up in their territory again. What you think is gonna happen, right? Y'all gonna get smacked again. Okay, at least that's the probability, right? That I'm leaning towards. Okay, so again, pound New Zealand, guys, very nice setup. You can sell it right now. Okay, sell it right now. I've already sold it, right? I'm down, right? I've been down before, right? Get up, Craig. Get up. All right, all right. All right, just get that brick and you're good to go. All right, you'll win this fight. I promise you guys. Very nice setup on pound New Zealand. Let's keep it rolling. All right, market is open, right? 9:40 46. So let's take a look and see what the indices have done. All right, we got a few plays already in the making, guys. And again, I'm really you know, excited for those J's, but they're just not quite ready yet. All right, indices are quiet, right? Didn't really do too much, right? Spot in push. All right, look at that. Nas trying to push above. All right, and US 30 not really doing too much. Okay, so when will we get the surprise, right? Time will tell. Okay, guys, time will tell. I'm gonna clean up the chart a little bit. All right, and yeah, so that's done with wow. Yeah, this looks like a drop to me. Let's get down, look at it in detail. Man, boy, oh boy. Ooh wee. This is tough. Okay. It's looking like it's ready to drop right now. Got a bit of an evening star, right? Respecting the previous day's low, all right? Or at least the not between 9 and 10:30, the low of that, right? It broke below it, so we knew this was going to stay the high of that day, which it did, right? Price closed below, this high, obviously. But now that the market's open now, right? That 9:30 candle is pretty much right about here, right? So it's still processing. It'll close at 10, right? And then we'll have the high and low of the 9:30 to 10:30. But man, it I really kind of want to put a short position on it right now, like this, and just place it right above this little swing and try to catch it. There's a nice 1 or 2, right? 320 some odd pips, but we got imbalance down here to the left. Again, remember I keep teaching you guys about that. Now 600 points, right? This can happen, right? But because I'm expecting the dollar to rise, I'm a little skeptical about taking this sort of position, right? And then plus there's a little imbalance here as well, but imbalance here, and then even more imbalance up here. So if I'm expecting the dollar to fall, well, then I should be more expecting this to rise, right? And then, from there, this is a good area to sell from. Why? Why do you say that, Bain? Like, how do you know? Because last time it was here, it dropped. Okay? It's just that simple, guys. And again, I pointed this out to you guys yesterday, right? Last session, I told you guys, look at this. Look at this move over here, right? Where it kind of came up diagonally, right? And then it fell. Well, look at this move right here. It came up diagonally, same way. And then what did it do? It fell. You get what I'm saying? So like, again, a lot of history repeating itself, right? And for that reason is why now things have switched. So instead of the up to down, right? The up to down, right? We're going to have, or what we have is the down, right, to up, right? So we're going to get that one more time. We're going to get up there and we're going to come on down, right? It's just what it really is, guys. As a matter of fact, it's kind of looking, like this, same way, right? Getting up there, and then once we get up there, boom, right? And all I'm really doing, guys, is reading, okay? That's it, just reading, right? Nothing special. ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, and just getting away with 148 pip points on US 30. Again, unheard of. Right? We look at this on a higher time frame, and we can pretty much see that we can go all the way. Right? We can go all the way 1,700 points on US 30, guys. All right, so let's just prepare for that right now. Again, we could get price to kind of start shooting way higher, All right. But the way I look at it, all right, is even though that is a possibility, I'm just peeping how in this particular zone, in this particular area, we had a hard time rising. Okay. So if you do feel like this is going to be an area that price is going to reach, well, then you go ahead and put yourself a sell limit order in that area. Okay. Again, that difficult question. Damn, Bain, there's so many areas to sell from. Which one should I sell from? Right? The one you feel like selling from. Right? One that makes more sense to you. Okay. If you want to sell a little lower, sell it. If you want to sell a little higher, sell it. Right? Somebody's going to be right. Somebody's going to be wrong. But that doesn't mean you're always going to be wrong. And that doesn't mean you can't get back in. Right? People take these L's and they clock out. Stop doing that. Okay? Stop taking the L and clocking out, guys. If you know you got a good setup, just wait for it to come back to you. It will come back to you. Okay? All right, so I'm going to place my sell limit at this one first. All right, because again, I just don't think we're going to get above it. But that's me, right? Do what you guys feel is what you believe. Okay? And then I'm also going to put another sell limit here just in case I'm wrong, right? Doesn't hurt. Okay. And boom. Now, could I lose both of these? Yes, I could, right? Absolutely. Can lose both of them, but I'm not worried about that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about getting into something that's been telling me is falling. Look at the massive push down, right? Yes, we corrected ourselves, but we got 100% correction already. From where we dropped, we went right back to that area, and now the highs are getting lower, right? So this may not even touch any of my sell limits. It may just drop from where it currently is right now and just go down, right? And I'll be crying, right? Because I chose not to sell it from right here. I wanted to get it a little higher in these areas, right? But guys, this is the name of the game. This is why trading isn't for everyone, right? You got to be, holding yourself accountable on certain decisions that you make, and you got to live with the outcome and not blame anybody else and everybody else, right? It's your fault. Okay? This is not, it's not them and they and all that, right? It's just you, right? It's what you chose. Okay? So yeah, guys. Dow Jones potential. Nas definitely rejecting supply, right? Let's get a little lower, see what it's really talking about. All right. Man, very tempted. I'm very tempted. All right. But when it's like that, I got to go take out the dollar. All right. It's just what it is. All right. And the dollar still look like it's about to fall. Okay. So alert on that. And, if it falls, I think we're going to sweep up to the supply, fill this imbalance, and then go. So what I got to do? Sell limit. All right. Again, I hope y'all catching on. All right. Get those orders in. That way you don't really have to stare at everything that's probably, going to happen. All right. I'm going to push this up a little bit more. All right. Because these are equal highs. Right. So I'm going to give a little bit more space on that. And boom. Right. So there's my sell limit. And I'm taking it all the way. Okay. Because Friday is probably going to kaboom like it did last Friday. All right. Oh, this was the move last Friday, by the way. All right. You see it? 3 p.m. from 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. Right where we are roughly, right, to 3 p.m. on that Friday. Nas dropped. Let's see, 1,124 points. Okay, what I tell y'all about repeating itself. Get up there and then kaboom. The seller's like, come on, we waiting on you. Okay, we waiting on you, Bain. All right, I'll be there. Just give me a second. All right. Boom. I'm ready, guys. I'm loaded up, ready to rock and roll. Okay. There is the sell limit on NAS. We got the sell limit on US 30, both areas. All right. This is probably the most, the one that I would recommend everybody place it at. Right. But again, I'm okay with losing, from here. That's just me. But for everyone else, you want to get it from the highest point. All right. That's typically how you always want to go about it. If you're selling, and vice versa, if you're buying, you want to get it from the lowest point if you're buying. All right, that's what it is. So now SPY, Okay. And again, the equal highs concern me, but the supply is in this area. Again, SPY last Friday dropped 225 points, right? And we've now corrected majority of that move. So again, we could just drop, right? Or we may, get a nice little rise before we get the drop. So let's just go ahead and get our sell limit right up in this area. All right. And place our stops above those equal highs. Give it a little breathing room, right? And bring it on down. Okay. That'll be all she wrote, ladies and gents. All right. Let's recap what we took. Again, if you guys got any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. And if there's any pair you guys want to take a quick look at, let's do it. But right now, guys, we are all in, right, for the sell on the indice with these sell limits, right? We are expecting the dollar to fall. So, pairs in the majors, you can see they're already green, except for odd dollar. It's just being an oddball right now, right? But euro dollar rose up, right? Pound dollar shot up, right? Looks like it wants to start falling, but we can still get to supply. New Zealand dollar did shoot up. It's just doing a retracement now to potentially, who knows, sweep this liquidity and then maybe rise up some more, right? But all green, right? Dollar CAD looks like it's ready to fall, right? But I have my sell limit at a higher price because I expect it to get a little deeper into supply and then drop. All right. Dollar CHF has already did its drop, and now it's at this demand area. But you can see it created a little bit of a supply here, so it may push up a little and then keep dropping to the next demand. Right, UJ, we're already expecting that to drop, and it's holding on. Right, we gotta wait to see what the JPY is going to do. All right, pound odd. It's a good selling opportunity from here. All right, guys. Huge imbalance to fill. Right, a little bit of liquidity that was engineered. So taking a sell right now with the tight stop is worth it on pound odd. All right, if you're feeling like it. Okay, pound cat. All right, so maybe it depends on if we kind of break back in here. That'll be like a false break, if you will, and we may very well be headed back down after that. But for now, we got to wait to see what it does because it could respect it and keep rising. All right. Pound CHF is doing this retracement, right? Whole time we were talking, we set that buy limit and it's going to tap into that. Once it does, guys, we'll be right back to the upside and catching a really good play on pound CHF, 120 points, 120 pips. All right. GJ, there it is. It fell. All right. So what did JPY do? Right, JPY look like it's rising, but I know you, JPY. I know what you be doing. All right, a little trickery. You set all of this up, and now you're gonna pretend like you're going off. No, you're gonna come get this, and then you're gonna go off. So again, just watching out for that, guys. I know it's enticing, right? Because GJ is making this move, right? But like I said, just be careful. All right. If anything, just keep your stop above, where we at the highest point you expected to go, and you should be good. Okay. But I'm gonna bring my my stop loss down a little bit just to lock in a little bit more profit because we're heading at just a little bit of a support area right here. Right. It's really a demand area, but right, we're in that zone right now. So like I said, JPY still has a little bit more to show us before I'll get excited on taking some of these J's. But man, do they look good. All right, pound New Zealand. Look at that, respecting that resistance, guys. So again, we can start to get that drop, and this is a really great play. All right, really, really great play. This is probably one that I really want you guys to take advantage of. Right, 328 pips, liquidity with imbalance that has not been filled, has not been touched. Right, and we have a bit of a wedge pattern on this. All right, if we just kind of take it like that. All right, boom, bam, and just stretch this on out. Okay, you guys can see that. Okay, look up your wedge patterns and you guys will understand what this is all about. All right, but that's looking very, very good on pound New Zealand. So we ain't take a look at commodities. All right, Ariel, if you're in the building, silver is rising, my dear. So it did give you a little respect, but now again, just looking like it's not gonna fall at the moment. Okay, but again, never know. But just with the way things are right now, I wouldn't, bank on it too heavily, even though I see the potential, right? Because all we got to do is, get a nice bearish candle coming to break this trend line. And yes, we could absolutely get to this level here or even the low. All right. But just understanding that these indices are very, these commodities are very volatile in terms of being hedged against the inflation, and the uncertainty in our economy is causing them to rise to all-time highs. So again, guys, just be careful on these commodities. All right, look at that gold. Right, tried to sell it. Gold said nope, we ain't on that. All right, we getting a 5,820 million. Okay, whatever it's gonna do is basically doing that. So just very, just very, very bullish, all right, on these commodities, guys. You know, don't really know what else to tell you, all right, in terms of that. All right, we got in this natural gas play, all right. So we're down a little bit, but looks like we're heading back up. So we're still good on that. Did I miss that? Oh, New Zealand. All right. This is now here. Okay. Yep, I see all New Zealand falling, but I do see it pushing up to supply before it takes its next fall. So again, guys, you may want to go ahead and get yourself a sell limit order at that supply area. All right, with stops a little bit above it, because there is some imbalance here. Let me just map it out so you guys will know what's what. All right, just like that. So again, just try to get above that, maybe bring the sell limit up a little deeper, and then aim for that huge imbalance to the downside. All right, guys, that is a nice setup here on AUD New Zealand. Again, pound New Zealand, AUD New Zealand, brother and sister, right? So same way we're getting that rejection with this rising wedge, and we got 300 pips on the table for pound New Zealand. For AUD New Zealand, guys, it's the similar situation, right? Let's see how many pips from that supply on down. We're talking 200. All right, so again, very nice plays. We got it all set up, guys. Just got to take advantage. Don't forget those indices. Okay, but pay attention to whatever the dollar is going to do in terms of falling, right? That'll push the indices up just a bit, right? But maybe from here, guys, the dollar may rise, and that's where the indices could absolutely tank. All right, yeah, euro CHF, pound CHF, right? Waiting for those buy limits on the pullbacks. All right, pound CHF is close. Oh man, oil, almost forgot. All right, so it's still pump faking. All right, but I'm just kind of looking for it to get to here and then potentially rise. But yeah, guys, that'll do it. Any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything whatsoever, let me know. Let me know. Man, I miss Aaliyah. All right. All right, going once. Going twice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here again. Appreciate you guys rocking with me this morning. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come to Friday, where everything most likely will pop off and we'll make the most money that we made this week. It'll be a payday Friday for real. All right. In the meantime, in between time, I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right. Peace.